Hi everyone, it is I, Miss Kitty, coming at you again with some news and updates and general thoughts on some things going on. Also, apologies if you can hear my pet parrot in the background. I don't know what's gotten into her today, but she feels the need to just squawk and scream at the most random things. I think at this point she's just squawking at air. So if you hear her going in the background, just know I have no control over it. She's just gonna make noise. She's part of the reason why I can't always make ASMR audios, because there'll be times when like the house is totally quiet and I can like sit down and work on something, and all of a sudden, and I'm like, ah, it's very annoying. And those of you who come to my Orky streams, where I do ASMR streams, you all know, like, the bird has it out for me. Especially when I'm trying to do ASMR. It's like she knows. She knows I need it kind of quiet and chill. And she's like, no, can't let that happen. And oh yeah, the kids are playing too, so it's chaos right now. So if you hear like the bird or the kids shrieking when they play, it's yeah. Oy. Yeah, like the bird really hates when I try to do ASMR. Like she really does. She has it out for me. It's like she has a spidey sense. She's like, oh, Kitty's trying to do something that requires it to be nice and calm and quiet. Better sing the song of my people. Oh, and yes, my voice is kind of cracky, kind of raspy, a little bit, sort of. That's because I kind of strained it a bit yesterday. I did 2 Orky streams and played Doki Doki Literature Club, and I decided to go the extra mile and do voices for all the different characters. And I decided to do very throat. I can't really describe it. Very throat sensitive one for one of the characters. It required a lot of kind of stuff that really just strains the throat. Because I'm a genius like that. And yeah, so it kind of wore down the voice box a bit. So. Yeah, I'm not sick, I'm okay. But yeah, I was doing that, and I'm gonna keep doing that, because as long as I play the game, I'm gonna keep giving them voices. So if you want to hear me like voice act in real time and do I call it, it's basically cold reading, because while I have played part of the game before, it's been years, so it's not like I remember the lines or anything. So I'm literally just reading the lines as I see them in the voices, and that's cold reading. So if you want to see me test out my cold reading skills and my voice acting, come tune in when I stream Doki Doki as Orky. Or I might be doing other visual novels soon. I've never really played a visual novel before, so I don't know which ones out there are good or not, and which ones are good for streaming on a general platform like Twitch. So if you have any recommendations for a good visual novel, especially one I can get on like Steam, let me know in the comments down below, and I will look into it to play, so I can do even more voice acting while I do my streams. So I heard from a person who is part of YouTube, because I got fed up with the fact that every time I apply for monetization, I get rejected and get a weird, different reason every time. The couple of times early on where you're like, oh, your content's sexually gratifying, I'm like, okay, I get that, okay, understandable. But as I built up my library for more like general to watch and more wholesome content, I figured that may outweigh the early stuff, which is very And so they found other reasons to reject me. And I got fed up, so I reached out over Twitter to Team YouTube. And they actually, after a long time, they got back to me. And they said that that as they're going through my channel, the original reason I got rejected is still the main reason. I have content that, while not outright pornographic, obviously, because you really can't have porn on YouTube. I know some of it slips under the radar and people use loopholes, but you really you can't. There's no porn on YouTube, okay? And it's still explicit enough that some of it had to be age restricted, and it's considered sexually gratifying. And that's what's blocked me from monetization. And I asked, well, if I unlist those videos, would I qualify for monetization? They said no. And I'm like, well, what if I private those videos? Will that make me, eligible? And they still said no, because unlisting and privating, the videos are still being read by the system. They're still in the system, and that as long as they're in the system, they're going to count against me. And YouTube said the only course of action for me to get monetization on YouTube is to delete every video that could be deemed sexually gratifying. And I know the ones that are definitely fall under that category. It's like most of my first audios, most of them. And I don't know if there's any ones I did later on that could be considered that or borderline. I'm really not sure. I may have to enlist help of people with way too much time on their hands to go through audios that could be considered lewd and see what they think. But here's the thing. Most of my audios at this point, especially my early ones, I don't have anymore. Like, I don't have the computer that I made them on died, and the type of death it had was a hard drive failure. So, and I'm kind of an idiot who didn't think to back things up on a cloud or have an external hard drive hooked up to back things up on. I didn't think about it, because I didn't think that would ever be a problem. And yeah, so a lot of my audios I don't have, and I'm a content hoarder with my own content. Like, I like to have it, even the stuff I'm not proud of, even the stuff that's not my favorite, that I didn't think I did a good job on. I still want to keep, because someone out there enjoyed it, someone out there liked it, and I don't want to take that away from them. And so if as nice as monetization would be, because I get roughly 250,000 views a month on average on this channel, especially since I started picking things back up mid-January. That's not a ton of views, but if everything was properly monetized, that would be that'd be a couple $100 in the piggy bank every month. Like $100 or two, or like $100 or $200, and that's not nothing. That's not nothing. That's money that can be used. Treat money for doing nice things with the kids, or treating myself. Treat yourself. Hello, garage door. The lovely thing. My office is right above the garage. Garage. Anyway. So, like, that'd be nice, because, especially in these very difficult times we're under, like, money's good. But I don't want to get this money at the expense of deleting content. Because if I delete it, especially like, I'm trying to back things up, and I'm working on that. But some of my oldest videos are also some of my most viewed videos, and some of the ones that you all most enjoy. And I don't want to take that away from you. I mean, yes, several of them are backed up on another streaming site where you can upload content of a more lewd nature. A bit of a hub, if you will. But I don't want to take that away from people. I really don't, but I'm kind of at war with myself, because on one hand, getting paid for all the hard work I do, even if it's just a little bit from YouTube, because they're certainly making money off of me, considering they like to now drop ads in my content, even though I'm not in the partner program. Those jerks. But on the other hand, I don't want to do that if it means deleting content that you all really, really, really like. It's just, it's hard. It's hard. So, if you all have any thoughts, if you all have any insight on this, let me know in those comments, because I'm really curious. And okay, so there's been news lately surrounding a lovely platform called OnlyFans, and yes, I do use OnlyFans too. OnlyFans, woo! For my IRL adult content. So if you're curious about like me IRL doing the lewd, OnlyFans, yeah. There's been conflicting reports as to what they're doing, but it all comes down to, in some aspects, OnlyFans is going to be limiting or outright, blocking explicit adult content. They're still going to allow like nudes, but they're not going to allow like sex stuff, And there's conflicting reports. There's reports saying that the main website is not going to do that. Just this new app they're developing. That's basically their Patreon, their version of Patreon. This app they're developing. But then there's other reports saying that because of pressure with their payment processors and credit card companies, that the platform as a whole is restricting and banning explicit content. So both those make sense to me. Like, especially, I get it. They want a safe work platform because they want to compete with Patreon more and whatever else. But also the thing about them getting pushed from the payment people and whatnot. I see that because that's what happened to Patreon. If you don't know, the reason why Patreon banned explicit content on their platform is because they had a hard time getting a company to process payments. And basically, the payment processor made a deal saying, we'll work with you, but you can't allow these kinds of contents. That's what happened to Patreon. So I wouldn't be surprised if, them, trying to work out a deal with a payment processor, that they gave them a similar deal. So, and plus companies like credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard and PayPal, that's not a credit card company, but they're notorious for, and banks too, especially big banks, they're notorious for being anti-adult content, anti-sex work, and don't want anything to do with people who do sex work if they know about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if OnlyFans got, slapped by those companies. So until we know which is true, which story is true, and what's going to happen to the platform, I'm just going to keep things as they are right now. But I've been dissatisfied with OnlyFans for the past while. Ever since they made some changes, and I know why they made some changes, because there were some bad apples who decided to spoil it for the bunch, and I get that. It's like those assholes made it harder for everybody else, and they're just doing some other things I don't agree with. So I'm looking into migrating that type of not safe for work content to another platform. And there are several platforms out there that rival OnlyFans. and several of them are made by sex workers, so they're not in any danger unless something like with the legal system or whatever happens of going away. So I'm looking to them. Like there's a site called Fansly that popped up that offers a really good deal for people who join the platform now because they're brand new. There's ManyVids, which has been established for years. There's Loyal Fans, which is basically a knockoff of OnlyFans. And there's Just for Fans, which is also kind of sort of a knockoff. And then there's Frisk VIP, which is another service. So I'm looking into the weighing pros and cons to see which one works best. I have a poll up on my main Twitter, Kitti Minx ASMR Twitter, about like where y'all would go if I move my adult content. So if you're interested in partaking in my lewd IRL stuff, give me your feedback on the poll, or let me know in comments which platform you'd recommend that you would trust, either as a creator or as a consumer to give your money to. Because I don't want to go to a platform with my content and no one in my fan base wants to use it because they don't trust it or whatever. So I'm looking into it. I kind of narrowed it down between Fansly, who I already have an account with, and ManyVids, because I've heard a lot of good things about ManyVids and people who've used it. So I'm kind of narrowing it down between those two. So let me know your thoughts in the comments about which platform you'd recommend. Because yeah, OnlyFans is getting to be a bit much. But I still would like to keep getting my pocket change from my IRL naughtiness. Because I did work very hard to build up that library of content. many years of stuff. So let me know your thoughts on that. And Patreon news, in the next month or two, there will be some there will be some changes to my Patreon. I'm going to be offering something at a tier, something new at a tier, as soon as it's done and ready and I establish, being able to get that done kind of regularly. And also, I'm going to be changing what you get at the different tiers. I'm basically going to be making things a bit cheaper. I'm going to be swapping some tiers around and making things more accessible to people. Because I have a feeling what's, keeping a lot of you who are of age, who would like to see the exclusive content I offer and support me, the tier that has the content you want, you see how much I'm charging for it and you're like, I can't afford that. So I won't be making it $1 because, come on, I put a lot of work into what I do. It's worth a little bit more than $1, people. I am going to be putting it at a cheaper tier level. So hopefully that'll make it more accessible to people and more of you would be inclined to join my Patreon and help support the content and help support the channel. Because if I'm not going to go the route of cleaning up my channel to make it eligible for the partner program, I still would like to earn a living doing all this work I'm doing. And that means people being on the Patreon. That's really my best option. And also Ko-fi donations, obviously. Like I really appreciate Ko-fi donations and stream donations. Like seriously, those of you who go out of your way to just, toss me $1 or $2 here and there, y'all are also MVPs. I love you. So, with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you would be interested in joining my Patreon if I made certain exclusive content things available at a cheaper price point. And let me know your thoughts on the OnlyFans thing. Let me know your thoughts about what I should do with the monetization issue with my channel. And just let me know your thoughts, because I really do appreciate everyone's feedback on these things. And yes, I do still have that website I had built last year. There's still some bugs with it, but that's my last resort, is moving everything onto that, because I'm sorry, YouTube gets you, traffic and stuff. People know YouTube. No one's gonna hunt down a random website out there in cyberspace for my content. I just gotta be real about that. Okay, I gotta get back to it and handle some stuff. Thank you so much for those of you who decided to listen to this. I will appreciate listening to your feedback, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all are amazing and awesome. Love you muchly. And I'll catch you later. Remember to stay awesome. Mwah. Mwah. Catch you later, alligators. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Meow. Ada, ada. Ada, ada.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. This piece was brought to you by my patrons on Patreon and other kind viewers and listeners just like you.